Hey guys, it's Karen, and I am here with a challenge, my challenge video for the doll challenge supernatural that is being hosted by Tammy Polly at Peacecraft Dolls. And this is my doll. She is not finished, but I am over it as I get. I'm actually, so let me talk about this. First of all, I say I'm over it, and I don't mean to sound flippant, but I have ADD, and I have like intense periods of like super hyper focus, and then I literally cannot do it anymore. I am burnt out and I am over it. So when I say that, it's not because I'm being dismissive or flippant or whatever. I can't work on this anymore right now. I need to stop. I do not consider her finished, and she was an experiment. So I will zoom out so you can see. This was originally, I've got her tied up on that stand because she keeps falling off, and her hair is still drying and stuff, and I don't want to mess her up. This was originally Little Mermaid. If you guys recognize this Disney mermaid body, that's what this doll is. She was a thrift store find. I looked her up on Mercari and stuff. She wasn't going for that much, so I didn't feel bad about tearing her up. I will zoom in on her face. So she is painted with acrylics. I did not use Mr. Super Clear on it, and I have not sealed it. And as a result, this is not stable. It was fine for the most part until I was trying to shove the head on the body, and then I was like literally like cracking it away with my hands because I had to I made the neck too big, and so I was like, not too big. It's batted, so it wasn't too big. I could squeeze it on there, but I couldn't squish it down enough to get it in the hole without like distorting the face, and so I ended up chipping her face paint. But as you can see, with a face like this, it doesn't matter. I just put more white paint on the spots where I had messed it up. I am now going to throw away that doll. The other thing is, you can see that the paint is chipping on her hands. That is because I did not sand the plastic doll hands before I put that on. Again, that's fine. I'll retouch it up later, and then I'll put some kind of sealer on it. If I was trying to make like a pretty perfect doll, that would be a huge problem, but because I was making something that it didn't matter if it had chunks and texture and gooey stuff coming off, that's fine. But you'll have to, again, I don't want to use Mr. Super Clear, so I'm going to be looking for alternatives. I think just a regular acrylic sealer will like protect the paint if I'm delicate with the doll. This is yarn hair. It's still drying. I literally just put it on. The dress. Okay, so I took off her hands and feet off the doll body, and I made it a complete skeleton. There's no skeleton in here. She's got a wire armature and batting. It was an experiment, and because I eventually want to make some like actual serious like art dolls. I've got some paper clay. I want to try to sculpt some heads and stuff. So these are kind of practice for me as I'm learning techniques. I was really bummed about this material because I was trying to go for like a white doll at first, like a white creepy doll, and then age it. And you can see that this material, this is like a fat quarter from Joann's. It has this design on it that's actually like silk screened or something on top, like a t-shirt decal on a black shirt, and so it acted like a wax resist and did not take color, so it ended up like really showing the design, which could be a good thing if you're going for that. So keep that in mind if you ever see anything like this and you want to paint it, that it like, so when I put a wash of black watered down paint over it, this was even more pronounced. But when I had put the back side of the fabric, so this is the front side of the fabric, I believe, and this is the back side of the fabric, and I had done it backwards. Look at, now this gives it a completely different effect, which is a lot more subtle, but also really cool once painted. So, although I'm not happy because this isn't like the vision I was starting out with, when I do these experiments, it's really cool because I've learned a lot, right? I've learned how this kind of fabric will take paint and what it looks like behind. And I had trouble with the armature because I was using florist, very thin, like 28 gauge florist wire, which is, I couldn't find my jewelry wire. I have a lot thicker jewelry wire. Well, okay, let me reframe that. I know where my jewelry wire is. It's over there. It's over there. I can't get to that yet. We are going to work on that over Christmas break. So I actually, though, if I'm going to actually do these dolls, I don't even want to use my thicker gauge wire. I do want to invest in some like 3mm, 2mm, 8mm aluminum armature wire. So these are all things that I'm learning, and which is why I like to do these just kind of like experiments. I haven't worked on staining the back of her dress yet with the dark, because I'm trying to continue to do some more painting. As you can see, I'm trying to really age and grunge it up over here. And then I'd have to put some more white on this. I might come back to her. The other thing I was disappointed about is, okay, so I really actually like the way the sleeves came out. This is again all sewed onto her body, but in this case, it might have actually been better had I created a dress from scratch and like actually made it come on and off. I had spent the time, so let me explain this. So I have wire armature, then I've wrapped it with batting, and then I actually sewed around. This is something else I discovered. So because I used to make cloth dolls, and the last time I made a doll, I used a knit stretch fabric. And this time I wanted to see what using a cotton fabric would do. I would, so far I'm preferring the knit stretch fabric over it. Also guys, when I talk about this stuff, again, it's not that I'm complaining or whatever. I'm also making notes. This is my notes to myself so that when I try a new doll, if I have a terrible memory. So this is like, I can look back on this video and remember what I did and what I liked and what I didn't like. So when I go to my next one. So I'm sorry if that sometimes I seem overly critical of myself, and I am, because I'm a perfectionist and it's a problem. I know that, but a lot of the times it's just me like talking factually to myself. Like, I'm not happy with this. I am happy with this. I am happy with the creepy face. I think it was really fun and I might like to try more of these. I am really unhappy with this. This was supposed to be more of a frill and it was gathered and it just didn't work out. But I was like, again, I was over it. And so I stopped. In my original vision, it was going to look better because I was going to do a ruffle around the top and this was going to be baggier. But I didn't measure correctly. And so I just went with what I had. I also had forgotten that I should have like only sewn around the armholes to the body and then sewed these sides to itself rather than to the body, because then I ended up with not enough blouse in the front and the back, and I wanted more of a blousey look. So again, it doesn't look bad. It's just not what I was going for. So note to self, when you do this, do not, and if you're going to sew to the body and you want this to bag out, do not sew the whole thing to the body. The skirt, I made like a regular skirt, but I didn't close it in the back. I tacked it closed on her. I love these kinds of skirts. It would have been really cool. I also wanted to use lace and stuff, but I didn't have any, so I started trying to go for ruffles. And the last note I'll make to myself and to you guys is, this isn't drapey enough, because I was using the quilter's cotton fabric and it had this stiff, but I didn't want to go out and buy new fabric because again, I'm experimenting, so I just was using what I already had. But if I were to make like a serious art doll, scary, spooky, Edwardian inspired or Victorian inspired scary doll, I would definitely want to make sure that I had the right materials on hand to satisfy what I had in my mind, which that would have helped with this as well. A very lighter weight cotton or linen fabric. This was way too thick and sturdy. I mean, it was a nice fabric, but it just wasn't correct for my vision. That would have really helped. And buy some lace, because I really wanted to have lace on this doll, but I didn't have any white lace. I only had off-white, and I didn't have enough off-white fabric to make an outfit. So, yeah, so these are just this, and overall, like, I'm really happy with, Oh, and last note is I used some old black Vanna's Choice yarn that I had, and I don't like the Vanna's Choice for the yarn hair only because it was difficult to unravel, and I had even a lot more waste than normal, or to brush out, and I don't flat iron. I wanted it to be like, you know, not flat ironed. So because she's an old doll, she's a creepy demon possessed supernatural doll. So note to self, it was a tighter, I think it's, you know, Vanna's Choice I think is like worsted weight, but it's actually a little bit tighter spun and thinner than most worsted weight yarns. So, but I'm trying to use up, I used to knit, and I have knitting patterns for sale and stuff for stuffed animals. In fact, I'm going to probably show you one tomorrow. I used to knit all the time, but I'm having a problem now with this left thumb, and it hurts to knit and crochet for long periods of time, which is why I haven't been doing it as much. But my purse is a crocheted purse, and it's like I need to make another one, so I might have to suffer. But anyway, so when her hair dries, I will maybe mess with it some more. I might come back to this and try to style and add more elements on it, maybe like a tattered up shawl or something. I don't know. I'm gonna leave her for now. I think she's mostly done, and I learned a lot, and I was gonna try to do I have like I said, I bought the paper clay, but I don't think I'm gonna make, for one of the upcoming challenges, I was thinking of making a doll completely from scratch, like with paper clay sculpting and everything, like with the head and the hands and stuff. But I don't know if I'm going to do that right now. I don't know. I need to get some money together to buy the armature, the proper armatures and everything, if I want to really do this, and it might take too much time. So we'll see. But I'm still really interested in pursuing these art dolls and getting better and better at them as far as like completely from scratch. So but I have a lot of regular dolls to sew for right now, and I think I need a break because my hand is killing me. So I'm going to sign off, and I am really happy. I'm really happy with a lot of this doll. So I might, yeah, I'll probably come back to her and like finish. I'd like to finish painting out the whole dress and maybe add some like details later, like hot glue on some kind of a panel here with ruffles and a button, and then paint it. But that I have to take a break from it. I have to let it sit now before and see. Sometimes with art, you know, you can't, like art and writing, when you make a design or you make a thing, sometimes you just need to sit on it for a couple weeks and then come back to it. In fact, Stephen King in his On Writing book, when he's finished with a novel, that's one of the things he recommends. Most people do. Before you go in to edit, you need to put it in a trunk, you need to put it in a drawer, you need to close the file on your computer, and you need to let it rest for a couple weeks, so then when you come back to your project, your mind is refreshed and sees it kind of in a new light, and then you can make changes with like a new vision or a new so it's like when you're reading over typos in your work, if you're like writing a paper or you're writing a book or you're writing a report or, you know, a project for work, your brain will like fill in those gaps of typos so you don't even see them, because your brain knows what the word is supposed to be, so it just skips right over it. But once you've stepped away, everything is sort of new again, and your brain's like, whoa, that's not right. So that's what I need to do with this doll. I need to step away and then finish her up later, or just keep her as is, as an example, as a learning progress. But we'll see what I feel like. Maybe I'll fiddle with her again in a couple weeks. Maybe next Halloween I'll be like, ooh, remember this, it's time to make her even cooler. So, and seal her at some point. I should do that. All right, so I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.